You say, okay, I have a lot of money, but you have no money unless you take profits.
When the first ever spot ETF was created for gold 10x.
And the only thing I really knew was Bitcoin at the time, so I just invested very heavily into that. Rode it all the way up.
What's up?
My name is Jeff. Even the creators have said it's going to be the predecessor of CBDC.
What that taught me was that I need to be self-sufficient.
A solid DCA investment strategy, and pretend the red sell button doesn't even exist.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
What is going on, you filthy degenerates? Welcome to another episode of the DGen Roundtable. Sorry we're a little bit late. As you can tell, we were having some technical issues, and it seems like we lost one panelist. Hopefully he can jump back in here in a little bit. Nate was supposed to be on stream here with us, but it seems like he also dropped out of the connection. But as always, thank you guys for joining us on another episode. So it seems like the market is in the red. Everywhere you turn, coins are bleeding, tokens are bleeding, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and your favorite altcoins are bleeding and into the downside. And, you know, when these types of things happen, we like to come on here and do a little emergency meeting for you guys, because we know that not everybody has the bandwidth to be able to keep up with everything that's happening in the market, right? So a lot of people might have a bit of anxiety with what they see on the charts, with what they see on Twitter. Hey, look at that. Welcome back, my friend.
And we're live.
We lost you there for a second. Glad to have you back on. Oh my gosh. That just glad to have you back on. Glad to have you back on there, buddy. But as I was saying, I know that seeing the news and seeing the price action on the charts can cause people a little bit of anxiety. They can stress them out. What's going on? Should I sell? Should I hold? Should I keep buying more? So every once in a while, we like to come on these streams when these types of things happen, just to keep the gang informed and to stop you from potentially making a big mistake like selling everything because you think we're going to go in lower. But before we get into the news, I want to welcome our lovely, handsome panel of gentlemen here. How you fellas doing, Josh? You feeling better, buddy? We miss you on Sunday.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling a lot better. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was hanging out in like the sub-10 degree weather in Baltimore at the stadium for the game on Saturday. But yeah, I had an elevated body temperature and a sinus thing going on, but nothing that a little Tylenol and some Sudafed didn't knock out. So still got a little upper respiratory thing going on, but all is good. I didn't even have to call out of work, which was pretty nice. So, which reminds me, I didn't tell you this in the green room. I apologize. I got a hard out at like 9:30. So, but yeah, everything's good with me, man. Excited about the stream. Excited for Whiskey Wednesday tomorrow night and to get chatting on this topic. So, Will, what's going on with you, man?
Oh, nothing much going on with me. Just figuring out how to moderate a damn Telegram chat, man. The T.me Hex Meetup thing has been going along swimmingly. So if you guys aren't already in it, go ahead and write down there in the little description underneath my name. You can see T.me/Hex Meetup. I'll go ahead and post that up in the chat. But it's basically like, hey, if you're a Hexican and you want to meet up with other Hexicans, then you can go to this little link and chat with people in your local area and go meet up and stuff. But as far as other things going on, I'm just chilling out in my little shipping container, enjoying these dips, enjoying these like price fluctuations, man. This is fantastic. It's time to buy things. I get paid tomorrow, so I wish that it was tomorrow already. But you know, hopefully the prices stay down for long enough. That's what's going on with me. Nate, what's going on with you, bro? Welcome back.
Yeah. I got rugged, but hey, we're here again, right? Yeah, actually, man, because of this stream, this is a stream I really want to be a part of. And unfortunately, I was going to do my Sending Man show today, and I was going to like get home from work, not even change out and go do it, right? But then I had this lady who needed help with mice in her house and ended up taking like 3 times as long as any normal stop would. And by the time I was done, I was like, oh no, that means I'm going to have like an hour to talk about this, and that's it. And then it's a hard out. So I was just like, all right, I'll just move it again to next week. So unfortunate, but it is what it is, right?
Nate, you killed Mickey Mouse, bro?
Oh, hell yeah, every day, man. I am not light on him.
Damn, bro. R.I.P. Disney.
Nate's out there
Hey,
fucking
Will.
chasing mice through a house with like a fucking ball peen hammer, just like smashing.
No, it's
Like
your
in
foot.
the
You got to
old
use your
cartoons,
foot.
bro?
And yes, that has happened before.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Will, you should switch back to that background with the what was that? Who was that? Was that SBF as an Abercrombie and Fitch model? That was dope.
Yes. All right. I'll switch back to it. Hang on. Give me a second.
Yeah, it's very on the nose because he's part of what we're going to be talking about today.
There
Before
we
we
go.
get started though, let me go ahead and say hi to the family in the oh my man, look at that.
Look at that. Sam
That's
What the fuck?
in front of
Super Jackson Handsome from the Wall Street Journal.
clean
One day.
shaven too. Man,
Yeah.
definitely the model you want standing outside of the Abercrombie and Fitch store, you know, to get the to get the teenagers to come in and buy their clothing, you know. So well, yeah, before we get started over here, man, let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. We have our very first comment from Fast Abdul. Let's talk bribes. This guy's always talking about bribes, bro. What are you
love
trying
it.
to bribe us, man? If the price is right, we might just consider what it is that you're offering. Okay, Hexagon lost in Asia. Stakers greater than everyone. Well, yeah, man. If you're staked, you don't really care about the significant dips and fluctuations in price, right? Because you're in it for the long haul. Although we do recommend that you keep a liquid bag of whatever it is that you are staking, just so that you don't go crazy watching everybody else take profits while the price runs up to you. Yeah, APEC Hex, Jeff, good to see you on here, brother. See, here you go, right? This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Not everybody has the time or the bandwidth to be able to keep up with everything that's going on in the space. And Hexagon lost in Asia. He says, wait, FTX is still real. And absolutely. And that's actually the first one of the first pieces of news that we're going to be going all over today, because FTX does have a considerable involvement as to why the price has been dumping ever since the inception of the Bitcoin spot ETFs on the 11th. Let's see who else we got in the chat. No Money Mike, give us the sauce. Don't worry, Mike. We will be giving you the sauce for sure. Alan Lepage. Oh, Elaine Lepage. I don't know. Is that Italian? Lepage, Jean Valjean. Good evening, D Gentle. I actually like that. D Gentleman. Oh, we're going to steal that from you, buddy. Yeah. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the sauce. So like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people they might be panicking a little bit, right? Because of what they're seeing going on in the price action for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, and probably a lot of your favorite altcoins. And a lot of people are asking the question, hey, is it time to sell? Are we going to head back down to lower prices? Or is this an area where we're trying to consolidate? Or is this just another bear trap, right? They don't know if this is something that's happening across the entire space, right? Is this something that the entire crypto market is involved? Or is it just a few players painting the chart in a way that's beneficial to them, right? And I am here to tell you that from the data that we have gathered here at the Roundtable, it seems like it's actually the latter, right? It seems like that the overwhelming majority of the downwards price action that we have been experiencing since the 11th of this month has been due to a few bigger players, right? Notably, Grayscale and also FTX, not by Sam Bankman-Fried specifically, but the FTX estate and what they're doing with the holdings. So I want to bring your guys' attention to this first piece of news that we have here. I'm going to share my screen with you. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah, boy.
All right. So this article is from the good folks over at CoinDesk, and this one is titled Bitcoin Bulls Buoyed by Report of FTX's 1 billion GBTC sale, right? And in particular, let's go ahead and take a look at the articles here. just to give you guys a brief overview of what's been going on, right? So according to this article, right, the dump that's been happening over the past few weeks, right, they think that it's partly to blame for the Bitcoins. So at least partly to blame for Bitcoin's poor performance since January 11th. Debut of the US-based spot ETFs are sizable sales of Bitcoin from the mammoth Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. According to the Grayscale website, GBTC held roughly 567,000 Bitcoin as of January 19th, down from just shy of 620,000 Bitcoin prior to the January 11th launch, right? And this is kind of where FTX comes into the picture, right? In the beginning, a lot of people were speculating that the overwhelming majority of the inflows into the 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs, right? Because everybody was making a big deal about like, wow, we've got $4 billion worth of inflows into the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Isn't that really bullish? Now, the detractors were saying that that's just a bunch of fake news, right? It's basically fake volume, because what they were thinking was that there was a ton of people who were just basically moving their funds from Grayscale into the other different spot ETFs. The reason for that being is that the Grayscale fees for their ETF is, well, to say that they are higher than all of the other funds is kind of an understatement, right? I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a different article here. And I want to bring you guys the attention to this section here, highlighting the different spot ETF fees, right? If you notice here, Grayscale has the highest fee out of all 11 ETFs, right? They're at 1.5% fee, right? If you notice, everybody else, right? You have Bitwise at 0%, and after this, so it's like 0% for the first 6 months, and then afterwards it's 0.2%, right? And if you notice going down the list, a lot of these different ETFs also offer a very similar kind of fee structure, right? ARK Invest, you have 0 fees for the first 6 months, and then a 0.21% fee afterwards, right? You have BlackRock here, right? iShares, you have a 0.12% fee for the first 12 months, right? And then a 0.25% fee afterwards, right? And this is a structure that's very similar to all of the other ETFs, aside from Grayscale, who has a very, very, very expensive 1.5% fee, right? This is like a 6x from who has the lowest fee here, right? Let's take a look. The person who has the lowest fee here is Hashdex at 0.9%. So that's like a 15x higher fee compared to the people who are offering
iShares is 0.1 though. 0.12, but I think Jay got rugged.
Yeah, I think he got rugged. Oof. Let's give him a second.
Yeah. And it's interesting how they've got the whole deals going on too, where it's like, oh, it's absolutely 0 fees for the first couple of months that you're into it, and then all of a sudden it's a Jesus, Jeff. That's funny.
Yeah, we're talking about this stuff, and interestingly enough, Jay's internet, which never craps out, is deciding to crap out on us right now. So,
Interesting.
Might need to go get some tinfoil from the grocery store.
Right. So one thing, actually, so I'd like to talk on the FTX though, because I got a little something there.
Yeah, man.
So
what you got?
FTX is being restructured basically. And they're starting to, basically redeploy it, so to say, right? If you actually look at the FTX exchange and kind of what they were doing, it actually was a very good, it was a very good exchange and all that. Like, it was user friendly, it looked good. I mean, there's a lot of people who liked using it. It was one of the biggest at the time, right? But what was the true issue with it, right? The issue was simply the management.
There's a bunch of
Okay.
liars, man. That's the issue.
Yeah, exactly. So now that you've kicked those guys out and you're bringing in more responsible guys, let's go ahead and say, I do think that there is a possibility of maybe a dark horse type of play that I myself am going to be playing, which is going to be the FTT token.
Really?
I'm going to throw some money into that.
That's an interesting lottery, bro.
I
Interesting
think
lottery.
that
indeed.
it's going to be a real thing. The only thing that they have going on with it right now, with FTX, is the simple fact that this was like the huge thing with Sam Bankman-Fried. But as soon as they're like, yeah, but he was a bad guy, he's out of there now, and now FTX is the real thing, what you guys really wanted, and they'll start advertising it as like a good thing. And then all of a sudden,
I'm gonna pull up the price chart, bro.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny is I was just about to do that.
Yeah, if somebody's presenting right now and has the chart ready, that's interesting.
Are y'all cool? Are y'all cool if we kick it back over to Jay?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
go ahead and finish out.
Folks,
yeah.
I am so sorry for what happened there. It is storming out here in the usual sunny Arizona. I have a wired connection and the internet just rugged me. So if that happens again, you have my apologies, but I'm sure that the fellas here can pick up where I left off. So, okay, give me 1 second here. Let me go ahead and share that article one more time. So, like we were mentioning earlier, right? The majority of the sell-off from Grayscale, right? So they sold off a total of about 53,000 Bitcoin, right? From that 53,000, about 20,000 of the 53 K from Grayscale actually belonged to the FTX estate, and what they were doing was they were liquidating their holdings from Grayscale, basically in order to pay off the people that they rugged when FTX collapsed at the tail end of 2022, right? And so the reason why you've been seeing kind of like this slow sell-off over the past few weeks is because when FTX went to court, right, the judge basically told them, hey, look, we know that there's a concern that if you liquidate all of your holdings all at once, that it may scare a ton of people in the market. So what we're going to do is we're going to put you on a vesting schedule, right? So the judge basically approved them that they're going to sell. Let me go ahead and share this article quickly with you guys. Share this tab. Here we go. So this is from Reuters. And if you take a look at this section right here, so the judge presiding over that case, right, John Dorsey, approved FTX to liquidate about $100 million in cryptocurrency per week. And then if both parties agreed, which is around this section right here, he said that they would allow FTX to increase the liquidation pace to about $200 million per week, right? And at the time that this all went down, the total value of the FTX holdings, where is that article? Give me 1 second here. Here we go. So this was a little later after that hearing, right? This was about, let's see, this was November. Yeah, this was November 29th of last year. And so when FTX finally got approval to liquidate to liquidate their holdings that they had in Grayscale at the time, which was October 25th of 23, right? The value of their holdings was about 597 million, right? That was October 25th, 2023. Now, what happened when the Bitcoin spot ETFs approved? Well, you could assume that the value of those holdings from FTX also increased. And when I say increased, the value actually increased from 597 million to about $872 million, right? That was about a 46% increase from the valuation on October 25th to the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF, right? When we saw that $49,000 Bitcoin. And so if you're FTX, right, and you're holding the assets that you're holding in Grayscale, appreciated about 46%, and you're trying to pay off the people that you rugged, you're thinking this is probably the appropriate time to start paying some of this off because our assets just appreciated significantly, right? And that's just considering the assets that they were holding in Grayscale, right? They also had assets in Ethereum, right? They had assets in Bitwise. They had Ethereum Classic. They had Litecoin, and a whole bunch of other tokens. And so that in combination with the people who bought Grayscale, if you guys remember, back in 2022, when we were at the very bottom of our bear market, remember that the Grayscale Bitcoin discount shot up to about like north of 50%. So imagine this, right? Imagine if you were somebody who bought GBTC at the very bottom of the bear market at a 50% premium off, right? So those of us who were buying spot were buying at around $15,500 Bitcoin, right? But if you were buying GBTC, guess what? You were buying, probably if you got it at the very bottom of the discount, you were getting it for like around just underneath $9,000. And so if you rode it all the way up until the ETFs got approved, that's a what? 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. You were up more than a 5x. And so if you were up more than a 5x, I guarantee you right now, a lot of those people probably decided to take profits, right? That's why we were saying that the spot ETF approvals were likely going to be a sell the news event, and that's exactly what happened, right? So you combine the people who bought Bitcoin at around $9,000 because they took advantage of the 50% premium from GBTC, and then you have the FTX estate selling off over close to basically $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, then you can understand why the price has been sliding down slowly but surely over the past few weeks, right? And so, yes, it kind of sucks to see the valuation of your portfolio go back down. But what you have to realize is, okay, recognize that you feel really bad because your portfolio is down. But now that we're here presenting you this information, you have to consider, okay, so it doesn't seem like, at the very least from the data that Jay is presenting, it doesn't seem like that this is a movement that is that's coming from the overwhelming majority of players in the market, right? It's coming from a few select players within this market. And so this area of about $38,000, $39,000 Bitcoin, it wouldn't be unreasonable to assume that once Grayscale has, once FTX has finished liquidating their assets, right, that you're probably going to get relief around this $39,000, $38,000 area. Now, it's certainly possible that they have a little bit more Bitcoin to sell off, but you got to realize that they've already sold off close to $1 billion worth, which means they don't have a lot left, right? Because the valuation of this portfolio right here, right, at least when speaking about the Bitcoin portion of it, is about 837 million, right? That's what's coming from Grayscale, right? And so they only have probably a little bit of that Bitcoin left, and that's probably coming from the Bitwise portion of their portfolio here. So, panel, what do you guys think about this news that I just presented to you? Right. So imagine like you were in the shoes of somebody who was kind of unaware that what was going on in the market. Does this news give you some peace of mind? Like, what would be your moves taking this news into consideration?
Personally, I'm looking at it as like as a good thing, right? This is something that they need to dump anyways. When is the best time? It's going to be now, just before the halvening, right? I would say, yeah, and what that's going to do is it's going to help out with the price as well, because they're dumping it now. People will buy up before, right? and then we're going to get rate cuts eventually, and then it's going to dump again. So if we had this happening at the exact same time of, you know, the rate cuts, and then we have this like this huge massive dump, that might actually be bad for the charts, right? And bad for Bitcoin in general. So I think now is probably the best possible time to be dumping.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on the given situation of the folks that are holding Bitcoin at the time. You had mentioned a 5x. You know, if you had bought the grayscale discount at the bottom, you know what I'm saying. And if you consider everything that FTX has been through and all the litigation and all the stuff that they had going on there, you know, they received approval to start selling that stuff, and it just so happened that the day prior to the spot ETFs coming live is when we had pretty much the high, the macro high so far. When the fake tweet went out from the SEC the day before the approvals went out. So you know, they were looking to take advantage of that, and you know, we'll see. Ultimately, the court ruled that they have the approval to sell so they can start paying people back. That was the case, you know, that was the reason why they argued for it. So we'll ultimately see what happens if they decide to honor that. But I mean, this is, you know, Jay, you and I have been talking, and given the, you know, I'm not going to say anything new. Given the overbought nature of Bitcoin over the last couple months, we knew something like this was going to happen. And kind of like I said earlier today, you know, this doesn't derail anything. If anything, it only strengthens the 4-year cycle plan. And but yeah, I don't want to get off on a tangent there. I think ultimately we still have to see if FTX is going to honor their situation and if they're going to honor what they said that they were going to do with these sales. So that's my opinion.
You know, I agree with you on that one, Josh. I think this is their way of taking enough profits to get themselves out of trouble, so to say, right? They can pay back funds. People will be happy again, be like, oh, they honored it. Okay, they're not bad anymore. Again, dark horse. But I think they're trying to revive it. That's very obvious, and they have to do it in a way that's going to cause everybody to gain trust again in their system.
Jay, was your question phrased from the position of like, what are the people that are like the movers and shakers, the FTX people, or like, are you talking about like, what are the people, like the yous and the me's in the crowd that are seeing what FTX is doing? What was your question
The
phrased
latter,
towards?
sir. Like
The
taking
latter?
this information into consideration. Yeah, what would you as an individual investor, now that you know what kind of things are going on in the background, like what would your individual moves might be?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, in that case, I mean, I would be buying what other people are dumping. You know, that's my simple peanut brain diamond hand move would be is like, oh, other people don't believe in this thing or they're cashing out on like short-term profits. Okay, cool. It'll probably be up in 5 years. It'll probably be up in 2 years. You know, they probably have a more tight like time frame constraint than I do. You know, I can sit and wait. But I'm at a different like um
Hmm.
risk profile than they would be as far as like
Yeah.
time and need to pay other people back goes.
Yeah.
So like if we just kind of extrapolate my position into the thoughts and minds and positions of the folks at home that are watching this sort of thing, it's like, hey, if other people are selling diamonds for dimes or diamonds for pennies, you know, then like, and you like diamonds, then why not buy them for dimes or for pennies? Oh, that's my lovely tinfoil hat. I thought I was not muted earlier, but I made this tinfoil hat because we are dealing in we're in tinfoil times, and so tinfoil times require tinfoil hats. So
Yeah. No, that's a really great point, Will. And to kind of follow up with something that Nate mentioned earlier, he said that they are trying to revive FTX, right? They are actually trying to do that. Now, whether they're going to be successful or not, I actually don't think they will, because once you've lost people's trust to that degree, it's not easy to earn back.
trust is a very important thing to keep. Like whether you're an individual or whether you're a company, we kind of cover this on the speed of. Oh no, we lost Jay again. we kind of cover this in the book club where we talked about the speed of trust, recommended to us by RG3. Go check him out at the Discord Syndicate. But the speed of trust talks about like the importance of being congruent to reality in both the things that you're trying to present and also the way that you're presenting yourself to the world and doing stuff. Josh, you look like you got a thought there, or am I picking up on your hand signals?
No, I'm my bad. I got a couple things bouncing around in my head right now.
Oh, okay.
But did you want to continue on your train of thought, or I can, hop in here, whichever one. Did you have more that you wanted to say there?
I don't really think so. It's just like people don't trust FTX. People don't trust the SEC. People don't trust the government because they have a continuous track record of doing stuff that is incongruous with the things that they say that they're going to do. If you're going to be a reasonable person in this world, you need to say things and then you need to do the things that you say. And if you're a person that doesn't like do that shit, then nobody's going to respect you, whether you're a man or a woman, like child, old, young, whatever the hell, or like an organization. It's important to do the things that you say and to like, show up on time and like, and sell the things at the prices that you're going to, and not lie to investors that you're actually gambling with the money that they're putting on your sites, or yada yada yada. So like that was the end of my thought. Go ahead and jump on it.
Yeah, I mean, we're just a real quick shout out to the Herc, $39.99 super chat here. Good morning, bro. Hope you have a good day, holding it down out there in the world where you are, my man. Getting back on your train of thought, I mean, this last bull cycle, we saw a lot of the flaws in some of these centralized exchanges and the programs and the my bad, I was adding Jay back there. But we saw a lot of the flaws come out, and we saw a lot of the dishonesty and all that stuff. So what you're saying there, Will, is 100% correct. And the ones that are true, the ones that continue to strive towards excellence, and they keep that honest mindset, those are the ones that are going to succeed. Those are the ones that are going to earn people's business and all that different sorts of stuff. So 100% you're true there. You're right along the lines, and that's a great thought. So my thought is getting more back to what Jay was thinking. It's all mindset based. For me, when I went through my first cycle, I remember the ebbs and flows of the market, and I wasn't used to it. And I remember the massive success that I would feel if I saw like a 10, 15, 20% candle. And then I remember the gut-wrenching feel that I would feel if I saw a 10, 15, 20% sell-off. And what that experience taught me, and this is why I think it's critical for everyone to get through at least one cycle, get that knowledge and that experience in, is because when you run into a situation like this, it's like, okay, I'm going to roll over and I'm just going to continue going on about my business because I have faith and I have confidence in my plan. I have faith and confidence in my experience. And I know what the Bitcoin cycle looks like. Okay. And it's all about the 4-year cycle until it's not anymore. And that hasn't happened yet. So we are still tracking for the 4-year cycle. It's been that way since Bitcoin's existence. And it's repeated cycle after cycle after cycle. So we get into this situation right here, and everyone wants to zoom in and everyone wants to take a magnifying glass to the situation, when really at the end of the day, it's just the matter of a macro market. It's just what happens. It's ebbs and flows. Bitcoin ran up in price from October to December on the rumor of the ETFs. That's what happened, to the point that we were almost pushing macro level RSI sell-off, blow-off top points. Like, we were getting there. I was messaging Jay like, bro, we need to start talking about a left translated cycle if this thing keeps selling. And sure enough, we were due for something like this to happen. And I remember us sitting here talking about it a couple weeks ago. We were like, what could it be? What could really send the market down? Okay, well, that stuff is starting to come to fruition now. We had a buy the rumor, sell the news event. This is exactly what that was. This is the ETFs were announced and the news got sold. And then sure enough, FTX came in with their approval and they started unloading their Bitcoin, and this is exactly what happens in a cycle. And this is exactly why it is important to get through that first cycle, learn as much as you can, develop a strong strategy, develop as much as possible. And you can then sit in a place where you can take a look at the market and reasonably and rationally think about it and say, you know what? This is just normal and it's not something to get worked up about. I have DCA money. I'm going to throw some in. I'm going to buy a little bit more. If you don't have DCA money, you just sit back, let it ride, watch all the chaos, watch everyone complain and say, hey, I remember when I was there, but I'm not there anymore. So that's my thoughts. I know that was a little bit of a rant. Nate, you got anything on that?
Well, yeah, actually. So regarding mindsets, I just got done getting out of a special call with the mastermind group, and there was a couple of guys who got on there and were like, I'm feeling really bad because my portfolio is red. And I found it kind of funny because I just had to tell them the story about like us, you know, being born in the bear as we were, about how we see that red and we start freaking out going like, yes, this is the best thing ever. And it's that mindset. It's the bear mindset, right? Where we start seeing that we think we can buy more versus other people saying, oh no, I've lost more money. And I mean, as Brendan said, you have not lost money until you've sold. So go ahead and just hold. All you really need to do is, as you say, Josh, literally just keep buying into more. And as it is going to go back up anyways, yeah, it just means more money for you. And ultimately, if you do zoom out, you've made yourself more money, not less.
Yeah, keep buying if you can. If you can't buy because you've exhausted all your DCA money, then you can't buy anymore. You just sit back and, like I said, watch the chaos and, you know, come up with that DCA out strategy, understand the momentum indicators and understand all that stuff. And you are golden, man. You will sit back, you will kick your feet up and you'll say, you know what? I'm going to go back to what I was doing. This isn't something that I'm really worrying about. So,
boom, baby.
Yep. What's up, Jay? Welcome back, buddy.
Hey,
Man, this storm is really rugging the hell out of my internet. So, once again,
Gracious.
apologies if I cut in and out here. But to kind of bounce off of what you and Nate were talking about, right? I think if you're still in the mindset of okay, you're giving me some insight here as to exactly what's happening, why we're selling off. Is there a potential for us to go lower? And the answer to that is obviously yes, right? This was some data that was presented to us by our good friend Battle Hardened Sniper. He posted this earlier in the Telegram chat, and it seems like Grayscale has onboarded another 15,000 Bitcoin onto Coinbase, right? And so the sell-off might not be completely over, so just keep that in mind. But here's another thing, right? Now we're seeing all of the potential outflows to the downside, right? But you also have to take into consideration what's happening on the other end of the spectrum. What are the other big players in this space doing? Because that's going to be a good indicator if they're going to follow Grayscale and FTX or not. And I'm here to tell you that people like Fidelity and BlackRock are doing the exact opposite. I'm going to go ahead and bring your attention over to this chart over here. Give me 1 second.
While you're pulling that up, can I make a comment, Jay?
Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, we are in the middle of a 4-year cycle right now. All right. We are off of our bottoms. We are approaching the halvening. Anybody who has put half an ounce of study and focus into the cryptocurrency cycles understand where we're going to be this time next year. All right. Historically, in the past, this time next year, we're going to be in a much better financial situation than we are. So right now, yes, FTX is unloading. Okay. Anytime, it doesn't matter if you have $4 or $5 billion coming in. If you have 6 or 7 billion going out, then you're going to get red candles. That's just what's going to happen. But those red candles aren't going to last long. There's only so much Bitcoin that can flow out. All right. And anybody who is anybody, investment money, retail, those that have put in the time and the effort, they understand that we are on the crux right now of a halvening and that we are on the crux of another Bitcoin parabolic move within the next 6 to 9 months. That's when that parabolic move is going to start. All right. So Right now, it might seem like, hey, yeah, we got $4 billion that's flowing in. We might have 5 going out, but it's not going to be that way forever. All right.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and then I had a question too. Isn't technically based on, as Brendan has said here, is technically speaking, the healthiest pullback for Bitcoin right now, isn't it like hitting 32 or 30K? Isn't that going to be like the healthiest for the best, basically pumpamentals?
So the $30,000 to $32,000 area has the most support, right? And so if we were to come down there, I 100% expect for those prices to hold. But as I've said for the past week, that once Bitcoin has entered its macro wave 3, it does not close below. It might wick, but it does not close below its 20-week moving average. And currently that 20-week moving average during our Q1 thesis was at 35.5, and now it's up at $36,000 Bitcoin, right? So until it happens, I will maintain my position that we're probably not going to see anything below $30,000, $35,000 Bitcoin. At the very least, we're not going to spend a considerable amount of time there. It might happen in a wick, but we're not going to get any weekly close below there. So if it happens, you better have some, like if you're not fully packed yet, you probably have some dry powder sitting on the side. That would be the perfect time to unload whatever you have left if you're still accumulating, right? So yes, it would be a healthy pullback. I don't think it's likely, and it's not just me who shares that opinion. There's a ton of other analysts out there, but obviously you want to hear both the bullish side and the bearish, more conservative side, right? So there's that on that thought. Now the thing that I wanted to share. Let me know if you guys see this right here. Right? Okay,
Yep,
so this is the total inflow of Bitcoin over the past few weeks, right? If you notice here,
Jesus.
like we were talking about, like we were saying earlier, the overwhelming majority of outflows
Love that
coming
red.
from that grayscale, right? All in the red. However, look at the total inflows across the rest of the 10 ETFs. A total of 95,000 BTC, totaling in almost $4 billion, right? Now, consider this. Michael Saylor, who has been in Bitcoin for like the longest time, him and MicroStrategy have a total bag of about, I think, 190,000 Bitcoin.
Is
So in just
MicroStrategy is he still a part of their bag? Is that his thing, or is his bag
so
separate from Micro?
yes, so that's why I said Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy's total Bitcoin holdings added together is about 190,000 Bitcoin, right? But they're separate. They're separate. And then over the past like less than 2 weeks, all 10 asset managers have accumulated almost half of what they have, right? And so this is what I was alluding to earlier. Yes, you are seeing some major outflows from FTX and from Grayscale, but you also have to look at what the other big boys in the space are doing, right? And here's another thing. This really blew my mind when I saw this, right? This was a tweet that Watcher Guru, I believe, posted last week.
He X'd it.
Yeah, he X'd it, right? So take a look at this, right? This was on January 17th. BlackRock holds 16,361 Bitcoin, right? The very freaking next day, on the 18th of January, they now hold $25,000 Bitcoin. Do you think these guys were selling during this entire time, or do you think they were accumulating while everybody was selling and panicking? Because it seems pretty obvious to me what they're doing.
It could
Go ahead,
very
Will.
well. I'm speculating there's a lot of over-the-counter deals here. I don't think that they're market buying just
Yes.
like the rest of us peanut brains and diamond hands,
Mhm.
right? Is these guys have the capital, and so this is a very real thing. Hopefully, all of our listeners to this channel one day have the leverage and the monetary leverage to be able to do over-the-counter deals where you can just say, hey, other person, you've got all this USDC in your account. I've got all this Bitcoin in my account. We'll just fucking set up our wallets to do a switch. So that way we never have to go through a third party exchange and have to deal with the price or raising the price or doing the whatever, like the market does its thing. It's like, if you're a super rich person and you own 100 million houses or however many houses you own, and some other person is super rich, like they're not going to put the house on the market for the plebes to buy and for like the normal people to see and to like change the prices of the housing in the local area. They're just going to trade some cash, and there's going to be like some courier pigeon that like flies the deed over to the new guy's house, and another courier pigeon flies the money back over to the other guy's house. Like all of this is going to be happening like over the counter, and it's not going to affect the price the same way as like doing regular old market buys and market sells and limit orders and things happen. So
Yep.
just something that I wanted to touch on.
That's a really good point, Will, because consider this, right? If it would make sense if you had that kind of capital to be buying over the counter. Why? Because
Correct.
you let the people who are buying OTC paint the chart as if it's going down. And so not only are you buying OTC, but now you also have the ability to buy spot at a considerably lower price than everybody else, right? Because if you're buying OTC, you're not affecting the price chart the same way as everybody else is who is
Correct.
buying spot, right? So that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And so like what else has people like BlackRock been doing aside from buying Bitcoin?
I want to be clear. Oh, looks like we just lost Jay. I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with buying over the counter. This is just a leverage mechanism that people with massive amounts of wealth can use. It sounded like Jay was talking. What was Jay about to go into there?
He was going into what are they doing besides buying, just spot Bitcoin?
Oh, so they probably have these massive marketing campaigns going on where they're either like if they want to buy more not over the counter, then they can probably like participate in the marketing campaign that makes Bitcoin looks like crazy like dangerous and like, oh my God, it's used by terrorists and money launderers and everything. They could probably spend a couple $1,000,000 creating some ads or hiring some writers or some designers to push some shit out there that
Yeah, they've
creates
been doing that
massive
already.
FUD. Yeah, so like this, I think this is something that Sami covered a long time ago. Is like basically if you have like $500 billion and you want to buy Bitcoin, like it does not behoove you to just go onto the marketplace and just start hitting buy. No, the first thing you do is you spend like $1 billion creating like a marketing campaign to make everyone else sell all their shit, so that way you can pick up fucking pennies or you can pick up diamonds for pennies and shit. So like BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street and Grayscale and all these other guys that are out there with like big massive like money bags swinging around all over the place, like they're probably going to spend the money necessary to make the market do what they need to do in order for them to get their buys and their sells in order, whatever direction the market's going. If the market's going up and they want to sell, they're going to like put out a massive advertising campaign saying, hey guys, Bitcoin's going to like 700 billion trillion gazillion dollars or whatever. And if they want to buy, then they're going to just hop on the momentum train of like, oh my God, it's all going to zero, it's crazy, and blah da da. This is like just people in different leverage points in life, like monetary leverage points, can do different things with their money. It's just something
They can. But my answer,
Yeah.
quite frankly, to Jay's thing there was literally they're starting to move on to different coins. They've already done the Bitcoin one. Now they're just moving on to different coins, ETH specifically.
Next is Pepe, and then after
Yeah,
that, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish that thought.
I was just gonna shit talk, man. That's all.
Oh, I firmly believe the minute on January 11th, or was it the 12th that the approval came out? Do you remember what day it was?
The 11th, sir.
Yeah, the 11th. I think as soon as that announcement went out, all the smart money started moving towards Ethereum. That's honestly, I think that's where the focus immediately shifted. It's like, okay, boom, on to the next thing.
Well,
because that's what's going to be. Yeah, that's what's going to be next coming around the corner. Real quick, chat, if you guys want to see a little bit of hopium in regards to this Grayscale sell-off, put a 1 in the chat. If I see a couple ones in the chat, I'll do a screen share real quick of a tweet that I just saw that's loaded with hopium. But yeah, all the smart money right now is pretty much shifting towards Ethereum and other coins that are that show promise, whether it be, if some hedge funds are looking at Dogecoin or whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. But yeah, that's definitely where the money's going. So
This guy, bro. We got $6.90 super chat from Mr. Will. He
like
says
it.
he does want to see the hopium.
All right.
From Josh.
He paid money for the hopium.
Yeah, boy, chips ahoy.
Josh, you want to go ahead and share that, buddy?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share it. Here we go.
Let's do it.
All right, let's see it real quick. All right, I think this is pretty cool right here. You guys got this? All right, can you guys see this? Twitter post?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we got 112,000 Bitcoin bought by ETFs. We got Grayscale sold 67,000. Then we got the mining details right here. Look at this: 27,000 Bitcoin are mined per day today, and then 13,500 Bitcoin will be mined per month in 85 days. All right. Boom. As soon as the halvening happens, that's exactly what it looks like. BlackRock alone has bought over 1 month's worth of newly minted coins in 7 days of trading. And then the analysis is once the grayscale selling slows, the supply shock will melt faces. And that's exactly what I was saying. We are on the verge right now of a parabolic ascent for Bitcoin, just like it always does every 4-year cycle. It starts typically 3 to 9 months after the halvening. So we are on the cusp of that, and this liquidation event, this is just normal news. It's not anything different. But yeah, that's a little bit of the hopium there.
That's a little bit of what I've been saying with these ETFs is they've been buying it in, right? And as soon as they launch it, it's going to sell off. But what I've been saying is anywhere from 4 to 6 months after they've launched, that's when you're going to start getting all of grandpa's money in. That's when they're going to have to start buying more Bitcoin. That's when the halvening happens. That's when all of this happens. And then all of a sudden hockey sticks up.
Yeah. And I love that Josh brought up that little infographic there, because that was actually part of what I was going to present before I got rugged. So the chart that I wanted to share with you guys was the Bitcoin daily issuance rate. Right. And so we've gone through a total of 3 halvenings, and currently the average daily Bitcoin issuance rate is about 900 Bitcoin per day. Right. And I remember the tweet that I showed you guys earlier, that from 17th to the 18th of January, BlackRock went from 16,000 to 25,000 Bitcoin in their bag. So accumulated just a bit over 9,000 Bitcoin. So if you were to take into consideration the daily issuance of Bitcoin, they accumulated 11 days worth of Bitcoin in 1 day.
Bro,
so this is
nuts,
what I was.
Man.
That's nuts, right? So this is what I want, what I was alluding to earlier. You guys have to take a look at what the other players are doing in the market, right? You can't just look at the chart and say it's all going to zero, everything's over. You also have to consider what the other big players are doing. And these guys are not selling. They're buying and they're accumulating, whether they're accumulating spot or OTC, right? So you have to be aware of, that's why it's good to follow these people's Twitter pages, right? It's good to follow these news outlets because you're going to get the news before anybody else because they're right on the ball, right? So, the title of this video is what is it that you should do next? Well, I can tell you what I'm personally doing. Whatever new capital that I am bringing into the market, I'm going to invest in the altcoins that are pretty discounted right now, that I have strong conviction that are going to do well in the long term, right? If you haven't packed your Bitcoin or Ethereum bags tightly enough, now's the time to do so, right? So, I mean, did you guys have any thoughts on that about BlackRock buying up 11 days worth of Bitcoin in 1 day?
They're fans of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, they are already controlling a majority of the real estate across the world. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't see why their goal wouldn't be to amass as much Bitcoin as possible, especially now that it's become look, every single investment has risk, right? But the risk side of Bitcoin has significantly diminished since it was founded. Okay. Every single cycle that it continues to increase in price and that it becomes more scarce, it reduces the risk factor. And BlackRock has just gotten to the point, along with these other large institutions and hedge funds, where they're ready to start capitalizing on it. They have the capital. All right. So I don't think it's going to be long before, I don't know if it's going to be this cycle. I don't know if it's going to be the next cycle, but there will come a day where Bitcoin is just institutional money.
Yep.
That the retail side is out of the picture.
Yeah.
So do whatever you can to start hedging that, whether it be, investing into altcoins that have a strong upside, or if you want to start diving into as much Bitcoin as you can right now while these prices are dipping, however you want to do it. If you want to leverage altcoins and then trade it into Bitcoin when the cycle low comes in this next, in after the top in 2025, 26, whenever that is, whatever the strategy is, make sure you guys are taking advantage of it, because it's not going to be long before it's just institutional money that's coming into Bitcoin.
Yep.
Yeah, and quite frankly, Josh, like, what is it we've been saying for a while now, right? Bitcoin is like, you can't control it, so what are they doing? They're fencing around it.
Yep.
They're trapping it.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That's exactly, and it's obvious. And so what can you do? And this is the other thing we've been talking about, how Bitcoin is going to continually become more rare. Because what are institutions going to do? They're going to grab it, hold it, and then they're going to have like paper ETF type. Here, you can
just like real estate, just like BlackRock is doing with real estate.
Yep.
There's only a finite amount of physical land that is being absorbed right now by BlackRock. What makes you think that they're not doing the exact same thing with Bitcoin that has a finite supply?
Yep. Hey, on that note, just MicroStrategy and Sailor alone hold over, they don't hold 1% yet, but they're pretty damn close to 1% of the entire total supply of Bitcoin, which means since everybody else is late to the party, there's not enough Bitcoin for the rest of the 7 billion people in the world, right? And so
there never was. There never was a day.
No, not one each. But the point was that everybody should have at least a fraction. You should have some Satoshis. But now that's definitely not possible, right? And you also have to consider the fact that we're taking into consideration the absolute number of Bitcoin, but we also know that people have lost Bitcoin into the ether. So there's less than 21 million Bitcoin that's ever going to be available for everybody out there, right? And somebody like MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, they hold 1% of the total supply. So to Josh's point, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
No, please finish your thought, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
I was just going to say, to Josh's point, make sure that you're hedging against these big institutions that are trying to take all of Bitcoin away from everybody, because that's their goal, right? They want to hold all of it. And so grab a piece of the pie while you can, because like Josh said, companies like BlackRock, like McDonald's, they have been buying, China has been buying up all of the real estate that they could possibly manage. You know, all that real estate you think we're just talking about here in the West, all that real estate in Africa, right? With all of those natural resources, guess who's in there? China's in there.
Yep,
right?
The Belt and Road, right? Belt and Road Initiative.
And
same thing with
they've
crypto.
been doing that for years.
And think about it, boys. We are only 2 or 3 cycles away from Ethereum being in the exact same boat.
If it all doesn't go to zero and we die in a coronal sun flare thing.
That's right. You know, I'm not going to lie, though. Here's something. So I've thought about this. Jesus Christ, that was months ago. But it's kind of being rehashed right now. So what happens when all institutions get Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's kind of old anyways, right? So what they're going to do is they're going to try and take Bitcoin and make it like, okay, this is the new currency, right? You can only use this. But then what is it the crypto space does? We create more stuff, right? And better things. And so it's like first Bitcoin is going to disappear, and it's like, okay, we can't use that anymore. What are we going to use? I don't know, something else, a new Bitcoin. And then from there, it's like, well, we can't use Ethereum anymore. What are we going to use? Oh, a new Ethereum, right? And I think right now technology is moving faster than these control techniques from the very old control techniques. By the way, you can go all the way back to Rome, and this stuff was well known, and you could easily do this to control populations and governments. And all of a sudden, we've hit a point now. Number one, it started with the internet because information was well known throughout anywhere. So you could see the desperation from multi governments trying to hide information from like leaks and stuff. And now that the financial system is being taken over, quite frankly, by the people again, because of things like Bitcoin and all that, just crypto in general, crypto is just going to people who believe in freedom are going to continue to create more things that others will choose to use as money rather than what the governments are saying needs to be used. And that it's going to continue that way until a world government literally has to take its own guns and start shooting its own people to forcefully put their foot on the neck of the free people. And when that happens, I'm sorry, bro, but there's more of us than there is of you.
You know, it's
Yeah, and
crazy.
you don't
Go
have
ahead,
to
Josh.
take our you don't have to take our word for it. All right, we got multiple people in our community right now who have been around for a while. You know, shout out to Sam, brother 64, especially with
man.
this $20 Canadian or 20 Canadian dollar super chat here. DRT is
Can of bucks,
greater
baby.
than Bitcoin
Cat of
for
the
sure.
bucks.
But look, start up a conversation with Sam in the Telegram. He's been around for multiple cycles. He can attest to, when Bitcoin was significantly lower priced and it was much easier to get in, and now we're sitting in a situation where it could very well be institutional money only another cycle or two from now. So, we got Cody coming up tomorrow on Whiskey Wednesday. He's going to be giving a half-hour presentation on his DCA out strategies because he didn't sell the top. You know what I'm saying? So we got multiple people in this community. Shout out to those that have been around for a while and talk to them about it. But, don't take it from us. Talk to people. Find out. Listen, everybody's going to pretty much say the same thing. It's not going to be around for a while, so capitalize on it while you can.
Goddamn right. There's something else to think about is like moving past the money talk. One of the things that Richard Hart speaks of in his book Sci-Fi is like the only things that really matter at the end of the day is goods and services, right? So money is a useful tool, like money is good for going around and getting things, right? But the you trade the money, you trade your worst asset for the better assets, whether it's land, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's DRT, whether it's chicken eggs, whether it's gasoline for your car, whatever. The most important thing is goods and services. So when BlackRock starts buying all of the Bitcoin and they start buying all the dollars and they start buying all the real estate, then you start losing out on the opportunity to acquire assets like well, whether but all assets are assets, whether they are tangible, like real life, like you can reach out and touch it, or whether it's a series of ones and zeros that are hidden on a server or several servers somewhere on the internet or whatever.
Are you
So
talking about that magical internet money?
so yeah, magical internet money, but like also, food. Like it doesn't matter if you have 24 Bitcoin, if you do not have the ability to create and sustain and find food, right? So like there's a difference between I don't want to go on a whole little tangent here, but like there's a difference between like the tortoise theorem and the rabbit theorem, where it's like the tortoise is like you have a hardened fortress about which all your goodies are stored, and then the hare theorem, which is where it's like you move around fast and you're adaptable and you can switch to the next thing. Like there's a whole like tank strategy in World War II where the French started adopting like they got rid of all the armor on their tanks and they put in real big fucking engines and their tanks were fast as shit and they could zip around and go everywhere that like the heavier German tanks couldn't. You know, so like there's a whole bunch of different, like I don't want to get too far in the weeds here, but like there's a whole bunch of game theories about being adaptable and being mobile and being able to acquire resources as opposed to having a giant stockpile. Like you're much better off if you know how to go around and grow food in random climes and random places than if you're like stuck at a giant Costco somewhere. So just some things for folks to think about. Like money is cool and all, but there's more to life than just like money and more to life than just like fiat and magic internet money and all that stuff. Bit of a random offside there.
Squirrel moment. That's exactly what that was.
Yeah, that was a squirrel moment. I've been holding that one in for like this whole conversation.
That's exactly
talking
what
about
that
money
was.
and everything, and it's like, look, dudes, there's more to life than just money. There's a lot more. Like money gets you things, but without those things, the money is useless. And if nobody wants your money, then it's also useless. So also,
Well,
learn
see,
to
then you're
save.
talking about money versus currency, and that's a whole nother topic all in itself. So
Sure, let's
we'll
not get
probably just skip over
too
that one for now.
fucking caught in the weeds, man.
Stay tuned to Will Stevenson's Survival Guide, Part 1. All right, what you got, Jay?
Well, that was basically all the news that I wanted to go over today. Did you guys want to go over some charts real quick? I want to give the people a bit of an idea as to what to potentially expect over the coming few days. So if you guys didn't mind, I'll go ahead and share some TA.
Jay, I've paid $50 for some TA the last stream that we had. So whether you do it now or you do it later is up to you. But I'm very curious to see what you would do.
So did you want to do the Trump coin?
Fuck no. I want to do DRT. Why the fuck would I want to do anything except for the
DRT, man.
DGen Roundtable?
Oh yeah,
Fun
you
one.
did drop the contract address for DRT.
You're
Okay.
goddamn right. If you're down to do some TA for DRT, I would love to hear your analysis on this.
Go ahead and drop me the
train wreck.
contract address in the private chat, and I'm gonna go pull it up on my deck screener.
I have
Bro,
it already in my copy and
So,
paste
Josh,
right now.
did you see Alan's
Yeah.
thing? That just about killed me.
And again, big thank you to Brother 64 for that fantastic Canadian bucks $20 super chat. That is awesome.
Oh yeah, Sam's
Canada
amazing.
bucks, baby.
Can't wait to get him back on stream. But yeah, hey, listen, while Jay's pulling up this illustrious DRT chart, please keep in mind that the DRT coin was created for educational purposes only.
It's literally a useless meme, everybody.
It's
That
literally
just happens
useless
to be
meme.
named the same thing as our channel.
Just keep it in mind. It was
Mhm.
created for educational purposes only.
Quite frankly, I'm not even gonna lie. That coin has just turned into like the on-running joke for us at this point, just because of what Sloth ended up doing with it.
And it's
fucking
increasing in value.
Yep. We are above parity against Pulse right now. I will tell you guys that much. Like I'm looking
That's
at the
pretty
chart
cool.
right now.
Gee, I wonder who did
We are
that.
1.03 Pulse per DRT. Let me look at where we started at. We started at oh fuck, I can't even zoom in. I
7
need to
zeros
click
and a
on log.
1-6, brother.
7 zeros and a 1-6, and we're at parity, baby, at parity with Pulse. So
It looks like some pretty clean Elliott waves too in this chart, which is
what's an Elliott wave?
I don't know about
Insane.
that, John. This is on the 1 hour chart, and my God, let me
Is
put
that
it.
log?
It is actually on log.
Okay.
Well, so here we go. We have the DGen Roundtable. We have the DGen Roundtable coin. If you like Will mentioned earlier, right? We started off here at 7 zeros and a 1-6. We had our all-time high over here at 2 zeros. Wow, that's something. 2 zeros and a 1-2. We did dump, right? We did have a little bit of a sell-off, but you can see the community rallied behind this DRT token and supported here at this price of 4 zeros and a 1-3, right? We hit some resistance on the way up here. However, we did some consolidation here around this price, and it seems like DRT has found some pretty nice support here at 4 zeros and a 4-7, and we just had this we just had this pretty nice Chad candle on the 1 hour a few hours ago, and we are now sitting nicely at 3 zeros and a 1. So, like Will said, we are at parity with Pulse Chain, right? This is basically Pulse Chain sack price, and we are right there. So, I mean, hey, we didn't make a new all-time low, And right now we are sitting at about 3 zeros and a 1. So hey, you might want to, if you want to throw a scratcher, if you want to provide liquidity, might not be a bad idea. Not
can we
financial
do-
advice.
Hey, Jay,
Can
hey,
we do a
JJ,
fib?
Go back to the.
Could you do a
to
fib
the
on that?
chart. I want to show you something.
You want to do a fib from the all-time low to all-time high?
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see what the
All right, let's do
targets
it.
are.
All right. So if you want an entry point, let's see. Whoa! Look at that. We just hit a new all-time high, fellas. What is this with these shenanigans?
Yo, someone's pressing buy buttons while we're on stream right now.
Oh my god.
Yo!
Who is this DGen?
Hey,
Did
Oh
Will
my
just say
God.
he got paid? I don't know.
oh my god.
Jesus.
I was about to do a fib retracement to get you guys some good buy areas, but now I'm going to do a fib retracement from our all-time high to our swing low here. And as you can see, DRT just punched through its last major area of resistance at 0.76 fib. And we've reached a new all-time high.
Oh
Now
my
I
god.
am expecting a minimum of price going up to this 1.68 fib before losing steam. So might want to take some profits at 2 zeros and a 2-1.
Dre's like, I'm gonna rug it.
Oh my god, this is awesome.
You guys are wild, man. Who did it? Who did it, bro?
I'm guessing it was Jeff. That's what I'm
Dre,
guessing.
stop screwing with the price.
Oh, this is too
Je-
fun.
Oh, Elaine Lepage is like market manipulation. Yes, that's exactly what happened because it moved as soon as we mentioned it.
God.
Oh my god.
Bro, that's
what I'm
wild,
guessing.
man.
I'm guessing it was Jeff.
It's probably Jeff,
Yeah,
man.
that would be like Jeff.
Jeff or
Either that
Will.
or you will, you weirdo.
Yeah.
We know who holds most of the supply, man.
Oh yeah, I know who holds most of the supply.
man. I'm not joking around, guys. I literally bought 1 million of those coins and I sent it over to my vault and I haven't touched it and I'm not touching it. I love this meme so much.
Yo,
I was trying
Yo,
to I was
Alan.
trying to
you don't bring up Alan's comment, bro.
What, I'm calling Gary Gensler.
He says I'm calling Gary. I guess he can't file for a spot ETF now, bro.
Oh, this is beautiful.
This is crazy.
That is amazing.
Well, we might have a DGen hangout when we all get subpoenaed by the SEC.
Yeah, in prison.
We'll hang out in jail, bro. I'll
can
do
do
that.
that.
Get hang out in
do that.
court.
I'll drink to that.
Yo.
We all meet up for the first time in court.
Guys,
Oh my god.
we just hit a new all-time high on stream. I'm so happy.
Yep.
Hey, chat,
all-
throw out
Oh,
Hilarious.
chat, throw out in the chat if there's any specific coin you guys want to see. Jay, how many did you want to take a look at? What are you thinking? 2, 3?
Well, I was gonna do a quick overview of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pulse Chain, Pulse X. But if anybody else has anything they want to throw up,
Do we just
chat.
skip to the
Go
fun
ahead
ones
and do
like
it, man.
oh ink?
Yeah, and of
Yeah,
course,
I see from Brendan.
Of course, a super
Okay.
chat will guarantee it. So, but yeah, throw them in.
All right. Sharing the screen. All right. Here is the chart for Bitcoin. So, you know what I really like about yesterday's close? We actually closed green despite all of that dump. If you notice here, we are at the very bottom range of that horizontal band of support that I've been speaking about over the past week. And so if Bitcoin were to head down lower, this week is going to be interesting, right? Because we're only on Tuesday. So if Bitcoin wants to keep heading lower, I fully expect price to find support here at the bottom end of that range at around $38,000, right? Now, like I was saying, is it certainly possible that Bitcoin is going to come down lower? Yes, it is certainly possible. If we do come down lower, I expect Bitcoin to find a lot more support around this chunk of price action right here. I don't expect us to go any lower than this area of around 35,664. Right? Once again, that's taking into consideration Bitcoin's 20-week moving average. And so if we go down lower, and you can quote me on this, I don't think we go, well, we spend a significant amount of time below that $35,000 price point, right? So look, if you still have capital on the side, and if you're still like, hey, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to drop a little bit lower, I would suggest it would probably not it wouldn't be a bad idea to start deploying capital at around this $38,000 area, right? Now, you know how we were talking about the 60-day cycles on Sunday's episode, and how I mentioned that regardless of whether you're following mine or Zenith's count, that we're probably going to end up at the same cycle low. Well, his cycle low and my cycle low probably lined up right here, right? So if we don't get any more dump from here, then we have a candidate for the cycle low here at January 24th, right? I think Zenith was working with like an 80 or so cycle count, and mine's at 43. But we have exactly the same cycle low, right? So look for $38,000 for Bitcoin to start acting as very strong support. If we make it down that low, you might want to start accumulating more of your dry powder if you still want more Bitcoin in your portfolio, right? For Ethereum is actually in really, really nice price territory. Just like with Bitcoin, you can see that it is heading down to that bottom range of support. The range of support for Ethereum around these levels is much stronger than they are for Bitcoin. So I don't fully expect Ethereum to go any lower than $2,100, right? I think you're gonna have people who are waiting on the sidelines to deploy capital really scoop up Ethereum at this price, because a $2,100 Ethereum close to the halving is a freaking steal. Also, I did want to bring you guys to this attention. Axis showed us this when he was with us last Wednesday. If you take a look at this is a very good website to familiarize yourself with. This is info.uniswap.org, and here you can actually take a look at where are people placing their liquidity, right? So if we take a look at the liquidity here, this is for the Ethereum USD pair. Give me 1 second. I'm hoping this is gonna pop up. There we go. So if you can see here, look at this wall of liquidity around the $2,200, $2,100 area, right? You have 300 and you have 200,000 USDC, 360,000 USDC. We have a spike here at $2,153 of Ethereum. We have $500,000 worth of USDC sitting there, just waiting to absorb the Ethereum if it goes down to that level. And look at this massive wall here. So if we did actually make it down to around a $2,100, $21 Ethereum, we have $1 million worth of USDC just set to absorb that price, right? And so like we mentioned on Wednesday's stream, when you combine things like this, like V3 liquidity, and you see where people are placing, where people are providing liquidity at what price points, and then you combine that, right, with the things that you see in the chart, right? This area here of $2,100 is reflected on the liquidity chart, right, where the most amount of liquidity is being provided by people, and that's at around $2,100 for Ethereum, right? So there's just all of that USDC sitting there waiting to absorb it if prices were to come down. And also consider the fact that that's just one pair, right? That's just the Ethereum USDC pair on Uniswap V3. Now, take a look at the Ethereum WBTC pair, right? Take a look at other Ethereum pairs that you might be interested in, and then you'll be able to see at what price points or at what ratios people are willing to set their liquidity in. For USDC in particular, that's here at around $2,100, right? So that's coinciding with where the
Oh no, I think we lost him. All right. Hang on. Let me see what we can do here. Da 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 da. We do it live, boys and girls. Josh, you are muted.
It sucks that he's got
Or no,
that storm going on over there.
Wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I was looking.
Hey, let's shout out the chat. So let's see. Yeah, good opportunity to shout it out.
Dude, we got Alan over here saving people from investing in the Bitcoin like highs. Did you guys read that one? Legit just saved one of my clients from buying BTC because the ETF had him buy 100,000 pulse instead. but now he's looking to rotate his IRA into the ETF. Oh, $100,000 of Pulse. Holy shit. That's a big chunk of chains.
He's really gonna like the gains on that
Hey,
one. It's gonna take a
yeah,
little bit of
actually-
extra time, man, but like tell him it's coming. It is coming.
I don't know what the price is gonna do, but I like the sound of it, just like from my personal preference. So,
No Money Mike wants to know if we're actually going to be drinking whiskey tomorrow night. Yes, I'm going to be drinking whiskey. I got to go out and buy some. I know Brendan, I think, is going to be discussing a special whiskey. I think that he may have picked up in Ireland.
Oh,
I'm not sure, but he's got
yeah.
a special whiskeys that he's going to be having on stream tomorrow. Nate, you're doing vodka, right?
Yeah, I got my vodka. I got my special little vodka.
Yeah.
But,
So
yeah. Otherwise, I
Also-
would have myself some
I broke my
Jameson
cork.
with exactly 3 ice cubes.
I gotta,
what is that, Will?
This is bamboo rum, bro. This is the good
Okay.
shit.
Nice.
Is it? This is why the rum is always gone. This is actually quite fantastic. I love this
Nice.
stuff. I was gonna get a bottle of tequila yesterday, but
Bruh.
I opted to go with this instead.
That's like the 6th time I've been rugged.
Yeah, for real, dude. Bro,
Bro,
you getting
what a
that
weekend.
sandstorm by Darude over there. That's what we were
Yep.
joking about in the pre-show.
It's the last 4 days have been heavily storming out here in Arizona, so probably not just me having the rug issue.
Hey, Jay, I got a heart out. You cool if I give a couple announcements and then punch out?
Yeah, sure thing, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, for tomorrow night's stream, look, guys, from 9:00 Eastern to 10:00 Eastern, we're gonna sort of open it up like they do on F and Hangout on Fridays. So I'm gonna drop the StreamYard link into the community chat around probably 8:45. So you guys show up, show out. If you guys want to be on camera, we encourage you to be on camera. If you guys don't want to be on camera, the only thing that we're going to ask is that you present yourself before you're on stream, so that we know that you're not doing anything inappropriate or anything like that. So, but that's going to be tomorrow night. Show starts at 8:00, so we're going to go from 8 to 10 tomorrow night Eastern time. From 9:00 to 10:00 is going to be the whiskey hangout hour. So we want everyone to hop on stream. And then, yeah, we got some great special guests coming around the corner. My name is Josh. You guys know that. You guys can find me on Twitter, on Instagram at Chocolate Taints. That's where I'm at. Yeah, so I actually have to go do some work.
Go work, bro. You have my permission to leave.
Yeah, because, I have a very important job, and, you guys know what I do.
Yes, he does.
You're a janitor.
Yeah, he is a janitor.
That was clever. We got to give Josh that, man.
He got rugged.
Alan asks, yes, wait, we can join the stream. Yes, sir. That is what the Whiskey Wednesdays are for. Josh does give an open invite for the members of our community. If you want to come on, hang out for a little bit, shoot the shit, talk whatever it is you want to talk about, whether that's crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, your favorite altcoins, whatever it is, man. You have any questions you want answered? Yes, you are more than welcome to join us on stream on our Whiskey Wednesday episode. So yeah, man, come join us and hang out on Wednesday. So before we close off here, I do just want to share a little bit of what's been going on with Pulse Chain and Pulse X, because there are a few things that I really want folks to be on the lookout for when it comes to the macro Elliott wave pattern for both Pulse Chain and for Pulse X. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you my screen here for Pulse Chain. Here we go. Can you guys see that okay?
Hang on. Oh, snap. My mouse just fiddles. Yep, I can see it.
Yeah, you're good.
Wonderful. Okay, so we have the weekly chart here on Pulse Chain. I was mentioning this a few weeks ago, but we just completed the Pulse Chain's first wave 3, right? We had a 1, 2, 3, and it seems like we are trying to find a bottom for this wave 4. If you notice where the wick of this weekly candle is, it's right at this major area of support that we have been forming, which is right around at SAC price, right? And so here's the thing. Here's what I really want folks to pay attention to. We are currently, if this is indeed a 5-wave impulse, we are currently trying to find a bottom for a wave 4. Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention, because for those of you who know Elliott waves, one of the rules that cannot be broken when it comes to the wave 4 is it cannot enter the price territory of wave 1, right? And right now, the top of the wave 1 sits at 4 zeros and a 7815, right? And so as long as this wave 4 does not enter that price territory, then this impulse remains valid. If we do break down below the top of that wave 1, then that means this is actually not a 5-wave impulse to the upside, and this is part of a very complicated corrective pattern, right? Like an ABC type of wave. And when we take that into consideration, now I know I might upset some people with this, but I'm not here to whisper sweet nothings into your ear. I'm here to give you both the bearish and the bullish scenario. If this impulse is invalidated, it is not unlikely that pulse chain come down and potentially retest its lows, if not make new all-time lows. Okay, I just want to put that out there, because that is a potential scenario if it were to break its Elliott wave pattern here. Okay, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Why? Because the bulls are really rallying and really holding support here at a just above SAC price. And so let's see. Let's take a fib retracement here. If you're looking
Hey, Jay, do you mind if I interrupt for a quick second?
Go ahead, buddy.
So Alan here, actually, I think this is a pretty good question. He says, what happens after the 5th wave? And I know he's kind of joking around here, but there is actually something else that you look at on the downswings, isn't there?
Yeah, so what happens after the 5th wave, Alan? So this 5-wave impulse would complete Paul Shane's first macro wave 1, right? And then what follows after an impulse to the upside? Well, a healthy chart is we're going to get a pullback to the downside and then another impulse to the upside, right? That is the traditional Elliott wave pattern that we're analyzing here. Okay, so after wave 5, expect that we're going to come down to a few key levels of support, but we'll get to those prices and then we'll get to that analysis once we actually, we cross that bridge when we get there, right? And so if you guys are still looking to accumulate more pulse chain, right? SAC price is not a bad, it's not a bad place to buy. But I know some people are like, well, Jay, I bought at the bottom here. I don't want to buy at SAC price. Okay, that's expensive for me. All right, I want bigger discount. Well, I expect a pulse chain, if this impulse were to hold its structure, I don't expect it to go any lower than this area here of 4 zeros and an 8.7, right? So if we hit this 0.618 fib, then I expect a lot of people to just buy back in, especially for those of you who took some profits up here at the top of our wave 3. Then 4 zeros and an 8.7 is a damn good place for you to buy some more, because what's the discount there? That is about a 45% discount if you were able to take profits up here, right? So what do we say here? You cultivate your crypto, and we don't really take any big dollar profits until the very end of the bull cycle, right? So this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to cultivate your crypto, right? Whether you're waiting for a deeper pullback into that 0.618 area, or even now, right? If you're buying at these levels, right? You have, what's the discount there? You have a 38% discount. That's not bad, man. Grow your bag by a third. That's not such a bad thing.
Back
right?
that
So that's it
dump
for
truck up, fill them bags, or sell everything
or
and get out.
that a lot of people did right around these levels here. A lot of people was like, I'm out.
Yep, exactly.
It was like,
Get those
and then
weekends
we're
out of
all
my
over
coin.
we're all over here scratching our heads like, why are you guys exiting at like close to the lows, right? The all-time lows. You guys are dumb.
I don't know
It's
who's
fine when
doing
people
that's
exit.
so wild.
When people
Why?
exit, it gives me buy opportunity.
Yep.
More power to them.
You know, there are some people who
Exactly.
just love to be like, oh no, there goes my money. Oopsies.
Oh
It's
no.
like if I'm hungry and I'm at a farm and the farmer has lots of eggs and he doesn't give a fuck about the eggs and I don't give a fuck about my money because I'm starving to death. It's like, hell yeah, I'll make a trade and everybody wins. So I just see the people that are selling it, the red candles, they're just starving. They're starving for, I don't know, emotional satisfaction or money or whatever. But anyways, sorry,
Yeah.
Jay, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
go off on a tangent there.
No, I mean, that's a good point. That's the reason why we always preach here. Recognize that you're going to feel some type of way when you see these red candles, right? But your
Yep.
step number 2 should be, okay, I recognize that I feel terrible. Should I act on it? The answer is usually no, right? It's okay to recognize it. But the important next step is taking a step back and considering, if I sell now, probably going to regret it, right? So that was a good point.
That's actually vital. Actually, I would say just a quick
Absolutely.
take on that. It's the
Yeah.
feelings aspect. That's you're always getting warned about that, right? About don't
Mhm.
trade with feelings, and it is going to hurt. But if you buy into the hurt with the hope that it's going to go up,
The money
then you're able
can't
to
make
survive
the
it, right?
feelings go away.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You
it's
can't
true.
you can't buy satisfaction. Well, you totally can, but like in this
You certainly
realm
can.
of endeavor, like if you try and buy your way out of poverty by chasing green candles, or
Oh.
try and buy your way out of depression by chasing red candles, then I don't know what to tell you other than
Mhm.
like if you're doing what everyone else is doing, then you're gonna get what everyone else has got.
Mhm. Hey, Casey brought it up here, right? He says never make an investment decision when you're emotional,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know how people, when they're having an argument, they're like, "Hey, we should probably take a few steps away from each other to cool off." You should
Yep.
probably treat that. You should probably like assume the same behavior when you're looking at your portfolio and it's like red and you feel like the world is crumbling all around you. So,
I have
like,
a
take
I
a breath.
have a hack for when
Go ahead,
people are
Will.
in
What's your
arguments
hack,
with each
bro?
other. When people are having
Share the hack.
arguments, if they both do an ice plunge at the same time and try and continue their argument, then they'll stop caring about the argument, right? You can hack your brain by doing an ice plunge, right? If you're like, oh, I hate you, yada, 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 and the other person's like, oh, and then you're both like, you know what? We're super angry. We fucking hate each other. Let's go fucking get in the ice. And then they get in the ice water and they're like,
Oh shit!
I'm
Oh, I
dying.
thought that was just you drop your pants.
It's
Yeah.
like all of that kinetic energy just dissipated into the
Yep.
ice.
Yep.
Alan
And then
says here the Joe Rogan approach. Yeah, man, Alan, just wait. Will is
Yeah.
gonna suggest DMT here probably in the
Bro,
near
I mean,
future.
I've not tried it. I've tried some things. I've not tried DMT, but like, like there is something about bringing your brain back to primal, like I'm going to die status that really just melts away all the problems in the world. So if you've not gone out and experienced death before, like I don't suggest that you go seeking it, but like it's probably like it will change your tolerance for things if you like there's this whole joke that people in the military just like don't care about like all the regular every day-to-day problems that other people care about, and it's like people that see death or see their buddies get blown up or like watch terrible things happen, like that. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they don't care if the sheets are folded on the bed, or like or if I'm 15 minutes late to my job interview. It's like, bro, I've got my limbs and all of the blood is still inside my body. I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So anyways.
No. I mean,
I
we've
love it.
talked about that before, right? I've mentioned it
Yeah.
multiple times over the course of
Mhm.
DGen Roundtable, is that sometimes it takes people being pushed off the edge to realize exactly what it is to be down there.
Yep.
And then they have greater appreciation of what it was like being a little higher up, right? So that,
Yep.
it's a good point, right?
Yeah.
Once you face death, you have a greater appreciation for life and everything that you used to take for granted. So those are good points, brother. So yeah,
Mhm.
the tangents are always appreciated. But here we are.
Back
This
to
is
charts.
the what?
Back to charts.
Yeah, back to charts, bro. So we got the Pulse X. So this is Pulse X against Die. Very similar
Oh, that's
structure
so
here.
beautiful. Oh, I want
Right?
to
The
nap
Pulse,
it up.
right? We got a 1, 2, 3. We're trying to find the bottom of our wave 4 here. Just like Pulse Chain, it seems like Pulse X is finding support around this this band of price action that we had during the first few months of the chain being live. And same rules apply here. As long as this wave 4 does not enter the price territory of wave 1, which is, let me zoom in here a little bit. Our very top of wave 1 is 4 zeros and a 2-4. As long as Pulse X does not enter the price territory of 4 zeros and a 2-4, then we can assume that this structure is going to hold and that we are going to head into a very bullish wave 5. Now, here's some moon math for you guys, right? For the top of this macro wave 1. Okay? Let's assume that wave 4 is in. All right? At the minimum, we can expect that, so wave 1 from top to bottom is 188%. Wave 3 from bottom to top is 400 and oh man, that's so nice.
Oh no, we lost him again. You know, it's kind of funny.
Oh
Nate,
man.
I don't know a damn thing about TA. So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, yeah, fib retracements and Elliott waves and macros and micros, draw these squiggly lines. Dude, I'll be fucking I'll be Bob, what is it, Bob Ross? Not Bob Ross.
You know,
No,
I've got an idea
who's the painter
for
guy?
April 1st. I'll have to tell
Take
you
it.
later.
April Fools.
But Alan, to your thing there,
little tease.
actually what I was talking about was to Dre. Yeah, Dre, I have done enough do your own research and everything where I have put in a lot of money. A lot of money that maybe if I lost it, I would not feel too good about it, right? However, I also put that money in knowing that there's a very real possibility I will lose it. And quite frankly, if I'm to invest, where else would I invest where I could get as many X's? So it's a mindset thing. The normal thing that you would do, Dre, is simply say to people, don't put in money you don't want to lose. But also, if you are willing to lose money that you know you can't really lose or that you don't want to lose, let's go ahead and say.
Wait, what?
If you want to put in money that you don't want to lose, but you still want to get good gains,
yeah,
you can walk in with the mindset of, hey, I am taking a risk here, but the risk to reward, right?
Mitigated risk, or like it matches up well on the chart matrix of like what's the level of risk versus what is the likelihood of outcome.
Yeah. So you know how crazy I am. So not only did the entire year of my salary, and it's been a full year now, the entire year of my salary, I put in 1/3 of it straight into crypto. Now, and my family was living pretty poor off of that, right? And here's the thing.
Right, man.
So that's not usually something you would do, but in my mind, what I was looking at was I was researching enough where I was confident enough that money putting in, more than likely, at least most of it will win out in the end. And not only that, but I was so confident in other things, I even took some leverage at the bottom by taking out some loans. Now, taking out some loans, like this is some degen stuff, right? But think about it this way. Taking out the loans, I can pay that back with my normal job. It's just going to be a little bit tougher later on. But I was buying at the absolute lowest I could get to, right? So it's all strategical up here. You just got to get over those, again, the emotions, right? You got to get over those emotions and say, this is what the future of my life is going to look like if we continue on.
Yep.
Well, I don't know, man.
Alan?
I don't know about that because we've got people like Will over here and Billy who are doing these crazy meme plays that like freaking, what was it? Oh my freaking, I'm forgetting his name, but he did Blast. He put $58 in and made like thousands off of it.
Oh man, yeah, he did. So we don't want to dox him because
Ricky. It was Ricky.
Well,
yeah.
too late, I guess.
That was wild.
Well, I mean, he was pretty upfront about what he was doing in the chat, so I don't think we really doxed him.
I suppose. Anyways, a dude that we know did very well with a meme play, and you know, like you strike him out. Like I did very well with Pepe back before like Pulse Chain launched. I did phenomenally well with Pepe, and I was quite pleased with that. Or no, it wasn't before Pepe or before Pulse Chain. It was after Pulse Chain. Anyways, I gave it a shot, and it was like, or no, it was. When the fuck did Pepe happen? I think I did.
It was
Pepe.
before Pulse Chain. It was before Pulse Chain, unless you were talking about the Pulse Chain copy on the Pepe copy on Pulse Chain.
I did quite well with Pepe regular. Pepe regular, and you know that was scratcher money. It's like, oh wow, isn't that funny that like this piece of shit coin is doing better than like these coins that have like, you know, a massive community and like real use case and other things. And it's like, it's a fucking frog with a
Yep.
silly website, you know. I mean, it was like Pepe number 14 or whatever
Yeah.
the heck
It wasn't the
as
first. It
folks
was
like
like
to
number
say.
14. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you keep rolling shit. You eventually strike gold if you throw your pick into the ground enough times, but like it's a question of
Mhm.
are you gonna starve to death trying to dig up for shit that you're probably not gonna find. But anyways, that's all I had on that.
Yeah. But hey, man, so that's really it for the analysis that I wanted to share with you guys. Just wanted to give you
Yes.
some quick insight into what potentially could happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum if it were to keep going lower. Some potential price points for both PulseX and Pulse Chain, just in case that keeps heading lower. But it seems like there's a ton of support on the way down, and I don't expect us to go below those price points that I spoke about earlier. So, yeah, man, if you have some capital sitting on the side and you still want to pack your bags, this would not be a bad time to start slowly DCAing back into the market. So, and with that being said, let's close it out. Nate, let's start with you. Can you tell people where to find you and what you got coming up over the next few days?
Yeah, actually, we got every single day we got some sort of stream going on here. There's a lot of things happening. Not only that, but there's a lot of behind the scenes things happening with DJ Roundtable, which we will be advancing. We're just moving up. It's only getting better for you guys. So continuing research and all that. Yeah, there's a lot of different plays. Go ahead and reach out to any one of us if you have a very specific question about some kind of play that maybe you're a little bit nervous about. I know I got one guy in the chat who did very well on LL, and it was very recently, and now he's reaping the rewards just because he came asking exactly what should I do about this, and I kind of ran through it with him. So that was, and yeah, it was actually a great play, and I helped him out with it. So heck yeah, Dre, that's exactly it. We are going to be moving on to earn. At least I am. I was actually with the mastermind chat that I was talking or the Zoom chat I was in earlier today. I was talking with Walrus about how, I'm not buying back in the Pulse with the loan token. I'm actually buying in the Pulse X right now in anticipation of
For earn, baby.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And he gave me that face of like, how dare you? Unfortunately.
Betrayal.
They're good.
Sorry,
Him
you're
and
no
Jets are
longer
good
the
friends.
newest
Him and Jets are
thing.
good friends.
I'm dumping you for the hotter, tighter, cooler, whatever.
Right.
How
Oh,
about you,
man, I
Will?
love it.
What you got going on? Where can people find you, bro?
People can find me at linktree/Will Stevenson, spelled the same way as my name is down here below. And other than that, you can find me in this Telegram chat that I have created that's doing phenomenally well. Big shout out to everybody who has joined this Telegram meetup community. I think I'm almost at 60 members now. But it's t.me/hex_meetup for those of you who can't read what's written down below me. I'll go ahead and write it in the chat. t.me/. And so anyways, what it is it's a it's a Hex meetup Telegram where people can basically organize their own little decentralized meetups. Like the thing that I see is common in the Hex meetup like world is it's basically a whole bunch of celebrities going around and organizing gigantic massive meetups, but there's not a whole lot of like product market fit for folks to go around and like find other people in their local areas. So what I did is I created a Telegram group where basically anybody can create small subrooms that are like generalized locations within either the United States or Europe or Africa or Antarctica or wherever the hell. And it's a way for hexagons to like basically meet each other. So I've got a lot of states in there, I've got a lot of countries in there, but anyways, you join this Telegram and you just talk to other people. And I created what I consider to be a pretty good outline that sort of kind of speaks to like the instructions on how to best use this Telegram to meet other people and all that stuff. So anyways, go in there, check it out, take a look. I threw the link in the chat, I believe. Yep, I did. All right, sweet. So go check that out. And yeah, that's what's going on with me. Other than that, I'm just rolling around in Texas. So if you're in Texas, reach out to me. Telegram's the best way to reach me. Um, uh, I don't know what my Telegram. I think it's t.me/Will Stevenson, but the W and the S are capitalized. So like it's Telegram. Telegram is tricky with capitalizations and things. So find my linktree/Will Stevenson. Reach out to me on there, either Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Telegram. Telegram's the best one. But yeah, that's what I'm up to. Jay, what's up with you, bro?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to make this quick before I get rugged again. As always, guys, thank you for joining us on today's stream. We know that time is your most valuable asset, and we do appreciate that you spend some of your time here with us on this very wonderful Tuesday evening. Even though the whole market is dumping, you're here trying to get that alpha, trying to educate yourself, trying to better yourself. So we thank you for joining us this night and every other night in the future. As always, you can find me at _P90 Hex on X and Agent J Schroth, Agent _J Schroth on Instagram. As far as what we've got coming up next over the horizon, we do have the Whiskey Wednesday episode tomorrow. So if you are in our Telegram, be on the lookout for the link that will be dropped by either Josh or our producer. And if you're not in our Telegram, there's that little barcode right there at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. It'll take you right to our Telegram chat. Yeah, get in there and see what all the hype is about. So Whiskey Wednesday we have coming up tomorrow, and then on Thursday Will is having a special guest on. I believe that's Fast Abdul, and then Friday we have Book Club with Zenith, and then Sunday is our Sunday episode. So
let me
Will,
actually
do you want to add something?
Yes, I want to replug. Yeah, I forgot. So forgive me. My brain is all RAM and there's no hard drive up here. So yes, I will be streaming on Thursday with Fast Abdul. We'll be talking about the 2FUCKS protocol, and we'll also be talking about the bribery system that he's got going on that like is sort of kind of like an offshoot of that. But it's a super cool protocol. Basically allows poor people to have better voting power in the FUCKS ecosystem, as far as like getting rewards and shit, and like voting via like governance tokens and stuff. So anyways, tune in on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, the same time that we always stream, 8 p.m. Eastern on this channel right here. But yeah, that's what I got. Fast Abdul, Thursday.
Wonderful. All right, fellas. Until next time, we will catch you all then. Take care. Have a good evening.